Welcome back to Horn Takes, the best Texas football and baseball talk destination on the web. This is day drinking in Texas sports. That's what we do. She is my special lady friend. She's a Horn Takes podcast contributor, and she's still my beautiful wife of 25 plus years in a week from the last time. I don't know how she put up with me for one more week, but we finally got her an X. You can find her at his lady friend. I am Sean Redfern. I am a contributor at secunfiltered.com. You can follow me on X at Sean_Redfern. You can follow the Horn Takes podcast on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Horn Takes. Subscribe, get notified on the YouTube channel so you don't miss a thing. You can also find us on the Texas Sports Unfiltered app on the midday mashup. So go to the little app store, download Texas Sports Unfiltered app, and every day between, I believe it's between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. is called the midday mashup. And what Texas Sports Unfiltered does, they just grab a lot of content and they throw it up there and play it for 3 hours. I know we've been on there once. I believe we were on there on Wednesday of last week. I'll try to keep tabs on that and let you guys know on Twitter when we're on, but you can find our content there. Obviously, we'll be doing 2 to 3 shows a week. We've got the bullpen, and I'm excited to announce officially that is now with myself, Sean, Mark, and Zach. We've had them on the last couple shows. I just decided the shows were going so well, we just needed to make that the show. We'll also do From the Cheap Seats, which is our football show. We'll do that every Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. And then obviously here we are on Sundays for day drinking. What are you sipping on?
Uh, Kind of a dangerous choice, but some wine.
What kind of wine?
It's a cab.
A cab. I love the cabs. That's about the only one I do like. I like a Malbec every once in a while. Some of the Italian wines are pretty good, but the cabs are the ones that got me drinking wine, right, babe?
Yes,
That's
you
right.
you
So,
said you would never drink wine, but
yeah, and I didn't
yeah.
for a really long time, but obviously somebody gave me a recommendation on a really nice bottle of Cabernet. And so I went and bought it and I was like, wow, this is really good. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand is the wine is outstanding with food. So it makes food so much better. So if you like meat, steak, oh my God,
Mhm.
amazing with wine. Italian food is really good with wine. I'm sure there's other wines, like different colored wines and things like that pair with those things also. But I don't know. I'm not a fan. I am sipping on a trusty Michelob Ultra, the really manly one, tiny little skinny manly, not manly really, Ultra can out of the refrigerator. It's baseball weekend. We've been watching some baseball all weekend, and we've especially been watching those Texas Longhorns. We're excited about baseball season. Friday night was pretty rough. The Globe Life curse continued as the Longhorns dropped their opener 4-3 in extra innings after being ahead 2-0 from the second inning all the way to the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs left. Is when the Longhorns lost that one, babe. I know you didn't make it the
No.
entire game. Uh,
I didn't
yeah,
make any of that game.
yeah, that's right. Because
Uh,
we went and team-ammed, right, and then what happened?
I got up pretty early that morning for work, and I knew it was going to be hard for me to stay awake that night. So we did our normal team am, and the margaritas were pretty strong that night, and I was in bed at 7:55 that night. So yeah.
7:55. That's the life of a nurse.
Yeah.
But her husband has to stay up all night long and still get up super
Yeah.
early because the life of a nurse husband is you get used to getting woke up at early morning hours,
Yeah,
and I've
sorry
just
about
gotten
that.
used to it. No, that's fine. It is what it is. So the game was not great. That signified 8 straight losses for the Longhorns at Globe Life Field, going all the way back to like 2023, I believe. No, yeah, 2023. So we're looking at like 2 years, and the Longhorns have played there quite a bit. They played in the Big 12 championship tournament there a couple times. They played in a couple of these early season sort of round robin tournament deals, and 0-8 for the last 8 after that game against Louisville. That was a tough one just because they had the lead for so long and the pitching was really good early on. And even really good late until it wasn't. It was kind of one of those deals where all of a sudden we got to 2 outs a couple of times in the ninth and the 10th, and we had batters in 2 strike counts, and we just gave up hits at the wrong time. Also, the offense looked really bad Friday night. Just a lot of strikeouts. I think they had 16 strikeouts on
Oh
Friday
wow.
night. Yeah, so obviously not going to do a whole lot if you're striking out 16 times. The only points in that game or I say points a lot and it pisses people off. It pisses me off as well. The only runs in that game, a 2-run home run by Will Gasparino and a solo shot by Adrian Rodriguez in the top of the 10th. So not a whole lot of bat swinging going on. I can't remember. Actually, they had quite a bit of hits. I think they had 9 hits in the game, but man, just couldn't get it done. Bellevue had a really good game, and Bellevue's had a nice couple of games. And we'll talk about the second game here in a minute. Um, if you would have stayed up, you'd have just been mad. So it's probably best that you didn't stay up.
Yeah.
Uh, it is what it is. Bellevue hit 400 in the game Friday night with a double. So the offense was kind of a mixed bag, and I think early in the season that's what you expect. I mean, you remember early season high school baseball when we'd go to the
Yeah.
tournaments or we'd do the scrimmages and things like that. You just never. It just takes a while, I think, for the timing.
Mhm.
I mean, you've been hitting against pitching, but it hasn't been in the game pitching. Uh, what are your best early season memories, or maybe your worst early season memories about watching the high school baseball?
Um.
What about the weather?
Oh yeah, the weather definitely. It's really cold. Of course, you start scrimmages in February, so up where we live, it's pretty dang cold. And when the sun goes down, it's freezing. So yeah, always had to pack for who knows what. I think we sat in a game with sleet, right? Last year.
Hmm.
Down
Yeah,
was it Dallas or was it in
we
Austin? No, it was
we were
Dallas.
playing. Yeah, it was Dallas. Yeah, it was
Yeah. We
weird
were wearing
because go ahead.
so we were wearing tank tops and shorts that one weekend in Austin, and then that next weekend in Dallas it was like sitting there with sleet and weather. So it was pretty cold.
Yeah, we played
But
on Friday. I believe it was Friday, and it was sleeting. And then Saturday it was sunny, and it was
yeah,
actually kind of warm. I think it got up to like 60 or something like. So really weird. Kind of a
weather.
kind of a terrible time of the year to be playing baseball. Just period. Just depending on where you're at. I'm sure like further south,
I,
it's not nearly as extreme, but
yeah. I mean, you say it's hard in the beginning. I always enjoyed the beginning, like because you have the scrimmages and the I guess tournaments and things like that, and it doesn't. It's a little more fun to watch because all the kids get a chance to play. It's kind of like a showcase, they kind of all get to have their turn, and then you don't see like them the division of the team, I guess, when the district play starts. So I always liked the beginning of baseball, other than the weather, but.
that's fair.
I got yeah.
Well, as soon as we decided we were going to run and record this show, we're watching the Ole Miss and Clemson game, and Ole Miss just opening up a can of whoop ass on the Clemson Tigers, 10-2. This is the same team Texas run ruled last night, 10-0. What did you say to me as we were watching the beginning part of that game? Because I said, isn't it crazy? This is the team Texas run ruled by 10 runs last night. And what did you
Oh,
say?
pitching,
That's right.
right? It all comes down to pitching, I feel like. And
Yeah, it's all about
no one to
matchups and
yeah, match up when to know when to pitch certain pitchers against certain teams. So
yeah, exactly. So, obviously, a lot of these teams can swing the bats, and baseball is such an up and down game. Friday night, the pitching again. I mentioned it. Spencer and Riojas did an outstanding job. I mean, they pitched what they pitched 8 2/3 innings combined, scattered like 6 hits or 7 hits across those 8 innings. Just a really, really good job. Riojas got in a little bit of trouble towards the end and got lifted, and then that's kind of when the wheels kind of fell off for the Texas pitching staff. So they lost that one 4-3. That one sucked, and I wrote an article on SECunfiltered.com about you know the curse continues. The Globe Life Field curse continues. And then the sun comes up on Saturday. We play a game last night against Ole Miss, our future. Well, I guess they're not our future. They're our SEC conference mates. We don't have to play them this year on the SEC schedule, but uh, so we 10-run rule those guys in 7 innings, and just really, it just looked simple. They had a huge 4th inning against Ole Miss. They had a big 7th inning against Ole Miss to finally sort of walk it off. And Luke Harrison last night, just outstanding on the mound. He's a guy for Texas that's been hurt. He got hurt last year. I think it was last year. He had a Tommy John injury, which is really tough for the pitchers. They hurt that. I guess it's an ulterior cruciate ligament there in the elbow. I don't know anything about
Interior.
what that. Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead.
What does UCL stand for?
I don't know what UCL stands for. I don't
Well,
know.
that's
Don't
what it
put me
is.
on the
That's the
spot.
ligament in the elbow that they tear, and they have to go get that Tommy John surgery. So anyway, I guess you don't do a lot of those, or your doctors don't do a lot of those.
No.
Um, so yeah, but he was outstanding last night. Man, they just looked really good. And then Ryan Burns came in relief, looked really good. We talk about that big 4th inning. I sent you all the all the highlights. What was your favorite highlight out of all those highlights I sent you?
The one you sent me today?
Yeah,
Oh gosh. I mean, I thought that catch at first base was pretty cool, but just
yeah, it was a good play because
yeah.
I don't know what Mendoza was doing on that play, and like ideally he would have been the one that runs in, calls off Schussler, and makes that a lot easier play. Instead, Schussler's going straight back, kind of has to catch it over his head, does a backflip. It was kind of cool
Mhm.
play. I think for me the most impressive play out of all that. Well, there was a couple. There was a defensive one. I thought Rylan Galvan's throw down to second base on the attempted steal was really good. I mean, it was like he threw that. You couldn't have thrown it any more perfect to get the runner out. And then I thought Will Gasparino's stand up triple was pretty impressive. I know the right fielder left his feet, but still, and I know the ball caromed around off the wall a little bit, but to hit a stand up triple, you got to be moving, and you had to charge the ball pretty well too. So I thought that was pretty good. Again, they were really good, and we'll talk tomorrow night with Zach and Mark more about the Globe Life field and the curse being lifted. And I wrote an article today about the curse being lifted, by the way. It's on secunfiltered.com as well. Big rubber match tonight. And by that, I mean Oklahoma State's 1-1 in this tournament, Texas 1-1 in this tournament. So both of these teams playing tonight, not only for some sort of bragging rights because they're old Big 12 foes, but also because they want to have a winning record in this tournament. I think if Texas walks out of this one with a 2-1 record, pretty good considering the competition that they played, and also the fact that they lost that first one to Louisville. Louisville's a decent team, but certainly not the best team there.
Well, yeah, and it was pretty close too. They went to extra
Sure.
innings, and it wasn't like it was a blowout or something. So I feel like that
Yeah,
counts for
absolutely.
something.
Yeah, I mean it was competitive, and honestly, they really
Yeah.
controlled the game. They just kind of got to the point where they, just you give a team
It
enough chances in baseball, and it's
Yep.
just gonna happen. It's
It's
just
that
kind of the way
momentum
that game
too.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who Yep. It's a very mental sport. So if you got some doubts in your head and that other team is like, we're down by whatever, we got this, they're gonna they're gonna have it. It's a very mental
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's fair. So, anyway, regardless of what happens tonight, we'll be obviously pulling for those horns. But even if they went 1-2, it's a long season. We've seen a lot of really good stuff so far in this tournament. I mean, I think to me, the most impressive thing so far is the pitching has just been pretty damn good. And again, it's 2 games, but last year was so bad.
That's what I
It's
was gonna
really
ask. Yeah, it was last year. I remember you talking about the pitching, and that was a struggle for Texas last year. So
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue last year the pitching is what kept them from being a better team, kept them from being a team that could advance past that regional round, maybe past that super regional round, and into the College World Series. Just not enough consistency and not enough. Not, I mean, honestly, just not enough guys that were physical enough to just go win. It's one thing to be able to throw strikes, but you got to have stuff. And I just felt like the guys last year, most of them just didn't have that blazing fastball, and they just didn't have that really tight breaking ball. And it's just a lot of stuff they didn't have that they just couldn't do. So when they did throw a lot of strikes, they got beat up a lot, and so they pitched around people a lot, trying to get people to chase pitches. So because of that, they walked a lot of people, or they threw the ball past the catcher a lot. So yeah, I definitely think, again, super early, but so far the pitching looks really aggressive. Like they go after hitters right now. They're not beating around the strike zone at all so far through these first two games. So it'll be interesting to see how the game tonight is. Cade Bing, who honestly I've never seen. I don't know anything about him except he's a left-hander. He's like a 6'1", 185-pound kid, so not a huge kid. Uh, but he's another lefty. There's a lot of lefties in this pitching staff, and so we had Zach Zim, who will join us every Monday night for the bullpen with Mark from Occupy Left Field. I asked him specifically, like, what's the deal with lefties? Like, why is it so tough? And it's just a different look that right-handers don't get to see a lot, like right-handed batters. So um, you remember when we'd see lefties
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs, those big, powerful lefties, they're just hard to hit. You just don't see it a lot. So anyway, another lefty that they're throwing at a lineup. So anyway, we'll see how Cade Bing does in his first start. I believe that's his first start ever as a Texas Longhorn.
It, now in college level, I remember we had a lefty, and it was pretty fun to see him pick off the first base when they were leading off. So is that still a thing in college with lefties? Are they
Oh yeah, they
quick to?
yeah, that's all the way through all the levels of baseball. They
Yeah,
have a definite advantage going to first base. The other
right.
thing lefties have the advantage of is they don't ever call box against lefties. So a
Mm,
lefty that's going to so the way a lefty has to do, if you raise your leg and your foot goes past your back leg and then you don't go to the plate, it's a balk. That's
mm,
first of all.
mm-hmm,
If you're a lefty, you can go 45 degrees towards the plate and still throw it to first, but they
mm,
always cross that 45 degrees. In other words, if they're standing on the mound looking right at first base, it's 90 degrees from first base to home plate, and they're supposed to stay inside of that 45 degrees towards first base. They never do. They never call it. So lefties have a ton of advantage when you're talking about going to first. Texas got picked off last night, I believe it was. Yeah, early in the game last night, Tommy Farmer got picked off and not by a lefty. That Ole Miss team has some guys, like some right-handed pitchers that have really good moves to first, and that's obviously a much tougher throw for those guys. So,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, the lefty has the advantage to first for sure. And I think, I mean, they can't see the guy on third, so maybe that's a disadvantage, I guess. But a lot of guys aren't leaving third to try to
Right.
get home on a pitcher. So
You're usually
um,
not stealing on that.
usually not. We've seen it before though.
We
But
have.
yeah, Texas Tech did it to beat Texas a few years ago,
Yeah, I
late
don't want to
late
talk
in the
about
game.
that.
Well, like I said,
Uh,
you got to
oh,
have the bad to have the
yeah.
good. So,
Those Texas Tech fans like to talk about it
oh
though.
yeah, Texas Tech fans love that for sure. So anyway, long season. We'll be rooting for the guys tonight. Traveling Roadshow. We're excited to be going to the Las Vegas Classic in a couple of weekends. We will be there Friday through Monday in Las Vegas. I got some shows lined up, babe. We're gonna go see Absinthe. We're gonna go see David Copperfield. Which one of those two do you think is gonna be the best?
I don't know. I love a good magic show. So, and we went to one. I don't know who we saw when we went those years ago, but our son used to be big time into magic to the point where he had the little hat, a little magic trick box. So I can't remember who it was we took him to go see. Um, however long ago that was, almost 10 years ago, actually, I think.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
Almost
Yeah, it
10 years
was.
ago.
Yeah,
We
that was
went,
your sister's wedding, right? Like we went out
yeah,
there for your
yeah.
sister's wedding.
hmm And
Yeah.
so
So,
it was such a fun show. And so
mhm.
this is like David Copperfield, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, he's kind of like. I mean, I don't guess you could call him the godfather of like magic shows, but certainly, I think he was probably one of the first that had like this big time like national sort of appeal, I guess. Like he did TV shows, I think, TV specials, stuff like that. So it'll be cool to see David Copperfield. I like to watch the Magic as well, and I do remember when our son had that stuff. He had the Magic kit, and he called himself
Yeah.
the Great Bradinho or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, no, Great Bradini.
Oh, the Great Bradini, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, man, that's good memory right there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the Magic so would be cool, but I've heard really good stuff about Absinthe for sure. It's a it's a Cirque du Soleil deal or whatever. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think
And
that one is.
oh, it's not.
No,
Okay,
I don't think
fair
that
enough.
is. Yeah.
Well, but okay, fair enough. But aren't all of those shows basically just like half naked people like jumping off of stuff and
I
like I
mean,
mean I know
I don't know if this one is. It's like a combination of things, I think, is what I read. Like comedy, acrobatics, things of that nature. So who knows? But the Cirque, however you say that, Cirque du Soleil or whatever, I
Cirque
feel
du
like it's,
Soleil.
yeah, I see. I feel like once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So if you're a big
Fair
fan of
enough.
that
Didn't it,
stuff, I'm sorry, but
we
that's my
went and saw
opinion on
one of
those.
those? Didn't like Ka or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah. It was at the Win, but that was like
Yeah.
2007 or something. So who
Oh yeah, it's
knows
a
if they
long
still
time ago
have
for
that?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I will be excited about that. We're gonna check out Casa di Amore, where the Jersey Shore people go to
Yeah.
eat. We're gonna go and order everything on the menu.
Yeah. We're going to have some
Hopefully,
wines
yeah,
and
yeah.
some
Hopefully,
pastas.
hopefully Big Daddy Sitch is there and he'll spring for our
Yeah.
dinner or something like
Some
that. That'd be kind of cool.
cutlets.
Hmm. Got to get some cutlets.
Some
Um,
BDS.
what else? What else do you think we'll end up doing? Well, I mean, obviously we're gonna watch a lot of baseball. We've got tickets to all the games. I don't know. There's six
I mean,
games. I don't know. Go ahead.
I think there's not much more we can do. We're going to be strapped for
Right.
time, I think. So I think we're putting in as much as we
Well,
can in those couple
the
days, but
the thing you got to realize is what you're supposed to do in Vegas is sleep all morning and then be up all night.
that ain't
That's what
us. That's the problem.
I know. We're
We
day
we s-
drinkers,
we
right?
suck at that.
We do suck
We
at that.
suck
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, we do. That's
I'd
fair.
I'd rather
We
get up at 5, start drinking at 9, and go to bed at 8. Like that's my
well,
day.
we can't do that though because we'll miss the games.
Yeah, I
So
know. I know.
anyway,
We gotta try.
the weather actually looks pretty good. We're 2 weeks out, so the weather can change obviously. But highs in the 70s, upper 70s on Friday, mid 70s on Saturday, and then I think low 70s on Sunday. Lows in the 50s for lows, which it's the desert, so as soon as the sun goes down, it'll
It's
cool
gonna get
off
cold.
pretty
Hmm
substantially. And I think I'm almost positive that all of Texas's games are the later game. I know. Well, I won't say I know anything. I feel like Friday's game is the late game for sure. And then I feel like Saturdays is the late game. I know Sundays is the late game. I'll have to look at that uh, in order to plan accordingly for what to wear. But anyways, we're really excited about that. I mean, the only other thing we might do is maybe shove a few bucks in a slot machine as we're walking
Yeah,
through the
that's
lobby
a
or
hard
something,
one.
or maybe like I don't know, maybe go throw some money down at a craps table and just see what happens. I honestly I think I would rather do that
Then
than than
slots.
just than just pump money into
Yeah,
a slot machine.
it's like flushing your money down the toilet. Is how
Yeah.
I feel. Like no
Yeah.
control.
Well, I don't mind flushing money down the toilet if I know what I'm doing. Like if I know what it means, right? Like I've said that a million times on the slot machines. I don't ever know when you win or when you don't win or what you're
Yeah.
like
What's the
how you're
goal?
supposed to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's probably written all over the machine. I'm not reading the damn thing. Just like,
But I mean, think about it. I mean, I know a lot of gambling is just kind of luck, but what control do you have? Like how fast you pull that down? Like,
you have
there's no
none.
timing. It's just luck. I
Yeah.
hate slots. Hate them.
None of those
Like
machines are
none.
mechanical anymore. So some of them
Yeah,
you can still pull the bar,
or push a
but
button.
yeah, well that's what I'm saying. They're all
Yeah,
electronic. They're
yeah.
even the ones that you can pull the bar, it's not spinning a mechanical
Hmm.
mechanism behind there.
Yeah.
It's just triggering the same thing that you could do by pressing the button. So that's how they control it. That's how they set the odds and all that
Hmm.
stuff. So it's like a big deal if you actually do hit on a slot machine. Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think out in Vegas, so many people play them that people hit them. Like it's almost daily. People hit them for pretty big, pretty. I mean, not huge, but probably pretty decent chunks. 10 or 15 grand or something. I'm sure that happens daily in Vegas, and then every once in a while there'll be like the big 2 or 3 million or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think if I'm gonna flush money, I think I'd rather stand around a crap table
Yeah.
and at least like have some socialization with some other people and just that's kind of what happens at a crap table. Everybody kind of gets there and someone's shooting and starts getting hot, and then everybody's making money off that guy or that gal, and it's just kind of like a fun deal. You kind of like team up with some people, and y'all are a team for just a short amount of time while you're trying to. So I think that would be more fun than just sitting in a machine and pressing buttons. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get gambling at all. I'd rather take that money and go eat at a buffet. That, but that's my opinion.
I wonder if we're gonna like the buffet anymore. I mean, I know we did it. We took the kids to a buffet the last time we were there. That was the last time we were there, right? When we all went.
Well, the last time you were there, I had to go for a girls' trip, like
Oh, you
in
had to go for
2000.
a girls trip.
No, I went in 2019, and then I took our daughter in
Oh, that's right.
2020, I
Yeah, that's
think.
right. I forgot about that.
So, but the last time you were there was 2015, I think.
Right. Anyway, I know we took the kids to a buffet in 2015, and I think we enjoyed it. I wonder if we'll
Hmm.
enjoy it now that we're older and more crotchety and just have sort of a I don't know. I just feel like we have finer tastes than we used to have.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I think I would love any sort of buffet.
I mean, it is nice to just go grab whatever and not have to cook anything, for
Yep.
sure. But and the Vegas buffets are really good.
Mhm.
I've heard there's some really good ones at the Cosmopolitan, not buffets necessarily, but really good restaurants at the Cosmo where we're staying.
Mhm.
So we'll have to kind of ramp up that
Yeah. And if anyone has any like ideas,
recommendations
suggestions, things we need to try out, please. We're not big Vegas people, so I
at
mean,
all.
we're not big like club people or anything like that. But of course, it'll be probably too cold to enjoy the pools. But if there's anything else, like let us know. I'm open.
Let us know. And if you're watching this, comment in the comments, and if you comment, I'm gonna pick somebody and give them 2 tickets to the Houston Cougars and Texas game, the home opener, February 18th, there at Dish Falk Field.
Wow.
2 tickets. So just
Two
all you gotta do is
tickets.
comment, and I'm just gonna pick somebody, and I'll get your email address, and I'll get those tickets forwarded over to you. So if you're watching this, your comment might as well be a recommendation for something to do in
Yeah.
Las Vegas. So we'll definitely. I don't know. I think Mark and his wife are going out there. Occupy Left Field and his wife, I think, will be there. I don't know how much we'll hang out with them outside of the game days and things like that, but we'll definitely hang out with them at the stadium probably and stuff like that. And there's still an outside shot. We get credentials. That would be cool. Get some media credentials there. I mean, I think it would just be cool just to be able to go down on the field, talk to the team, and talk to the coach after the game, stuff like that. That'd be big time. Maybe shoot some TikTok videos and me running around the bases or something like that. I don't know. We'll
Can
see.
you run? Or you can still run?
I can absolutely run. I'm the fastest person in this family.
No.
Yes. So a
Sorry.
huge a huge fight in our family is both of our kids are pretty fast. Our daughter ran hurdles, the 300s and the 100s, and she was pretty good. She advanced to the area around her senior year. I think
Man, COVID.
Man, I think her junior year when COVID hit, she was absolutely kicking ass. She had
She was in
won.
her prime.
Yeah, she had
Mhm.
won. She'd hit the podium. every single event and every single track meet leading up to the the when COVID shut it all down. I think we did 3 track meets before COVID pissed it all down the drain.
Yeah, I think the spring break one was the last one we did that year. So yeah, I think she had
A-
yeah, I think it was about 3.
Anyway, she was top 3 in both events at all 3 of those track meets and
Yeah.
won several of them. So she was doing really good. So she's got some speed. And then our son, he's got some pretty good wheels as well. And the argument is she thinks she's the fast one because she ran around a gym or something. Tell them the story about why you think you're the fast one.
I am the fastest one. There's no
I know,
story.
but
I'm just the fastest one.
okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna. I'm a big dude, but I'm very agile. Y'all don't
Oh,
want to mess with me. I'm the fast one in the family. Don't listen to her. And if we
I
have
could beat
to,
you still today.
okay, we'll race.
Yeah.
We will definitely race. That'll be a thing that we do. Um,
I gave the kids their wheels. You contributed with them just being sporty and all that, but I gave them their speed.
and very
Just
smart too. The kids are
yeah,
very
just
smart
concede.
because of me.
Oh
I'm not.
god.
Yeah, the kids are very
Oh,
smart because of me.
that's a story
Very
for another day.
very fast because of me. It is what it is. All right, folks, that'll be it for today's episode of Day Drinking. Again, she is my special lady friend. You guys can follow her at his lady friend on X. She doesn't do a lot of X right now. She's a
I don't.
Facebooker. I'm
I
trying to
have to
get her.
learn.
I'm trying to get her to start X. And so, you know what? I used to hate Twitter. I used to. I didn't have a Twitter for a long time, and because I couldn't understand it.
Yeah,
Like I would see
I don't.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand like how a quote worked and a retweet and what was a comment and what was a repost. And it was like backwards to me. It's just not very intuitive, I guess, is the best way for me to describe how I felt about it. But I actually really like it. I don't know. I think to me, it's better than Facebook because I think they're two different platforms, obviously. I look at Facebook as more of like a, keep in touch with your family, keep in touch with old friends type of thing, and really chronicle like you get to sort of document things on Facebook
Mhm.
with pictures and stuff. Like you can go back and it's all the time telling you, hey, this is what you did last year, which I think is really cool.
It
Uh,
is
but tw-
very
but
helpful.
Twitter, absolutely. But Twitter is just more. I think it's better for reaching more people. And you don't. There's nothing special about following somebody other than they can just see your stuff sometimes. Like the algorithm will feed you feed them your stuff a little more, but there's not like stuff saved on there like it is with Facebook. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess. All you old people out there like me, y'all probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but it is what it is. Anyway, we'll try to get her sort of having some good times on X and all that stuff. Again, I am Sean Redfern of the Horn Takes podcast, contributor at seconfiltered.com. You can also find all of our stuff on the Texas Sports Unfiltered app and on the Midday Mashup. They just replay stuff over and over and over again. Guys, tomorrow night we'll do the bullpen. Mark and his name slips my mind. Zach at the dish. We'll do that tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to give away tickets. Two pair of tickets to the entire weekend. Next weekend at Dish Falk Field against Dartmouth. So on these weekend series, I'm not doing 2 pair every game. I'm just going to give you a pair of tickets to all 3 games. So we got 2 pair of tickets to give away. You got to watch the show. You got to get in the chat. You got to chat us your questions, and then you'll win some tickets. Make sure you tell your friends. I mean, it's pretty simple. Get in there. I blast this stuff out on YouTube. I blast it out on X. If you're a TikTok follower, what I found out is you guys are commenting on the lives. I don't get to see that. For whatever reason, TikTok will not send those comments back to my streaming platform, but YouTube will make it to me. X will make it to me. So go there, go to one of those 2 platforms and do your commenting there. You'll be eligible to win those tickets. And I'm just going to randomly pick somebody. So anyway, trying to give tickets away is you wouldn't think it would be hard, but it is really hard. Nobody wants tickets. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's nuts. we'll have to see if we can get some more people tomorrow night on the bullpen. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good rest of the weekend. Get hooked. That's right.